Justin Boyd.
I'm the oh, I can't say it. I'm the original Brittany Pacheco. Damn it. Do we lose Marcy? Marcy, your go.
Sorry, I'm getting some feedback. Give me 1 second. And I am fix my issue.
And we are the Watchers in the Basement.
Welcome to the Watchers in the Basement. We are here today to discuss Hamilton. It's the 10th anniversary of the award-winning Broadway musical. It's been on Disney Plus for 5 years. It just dropped in theaters this month, and so I know Brittany's been dying to talk about this for a long time.
Dying.
Brittany, take it away.
Much like what happens to Alexander Hamilton in the end of this lovely Broadway production. Yes, I have been dying to do this pod ever since I first saw it during COVID, and it dropped, I believe, July 3rd of 2020, or was it 2021?
Oh, don't worry, I've got the facts.
Okay.
Yes.
It was just very impactful for me, and of course, what a crazy time to be alive. Of course, it was a very crazy time to be alive during, the country's founding and fighting in the wars and, holding on to the independence and what have you. But like for us living in the pandemic, it was just a really crazy time. And I didn't know that I needed Hamilton in my life as much as I did during that time. And damn it, I was so glad it came out when it did, just from the jump. I was hooked. Absolutely hooked. But we're going to talk more, obviously, in detail about this. I'm going to turn it over to Marcy. Marcy, your initial thoughts when you first saw Hamilton.
Same. I'd been waiting because I'd seen the show on stage when the touring company came to Dallas back in 2019, I think. So when they said they were actually releasing it as a movie, I was like, yes, because I want to see it with the original Broadway cast. Like, don't get me wrong, the touring cast is great, but it's not the original Broadway cast. So I was very excited. Yes, we definitely needed that during the pandemic. So I think it came at the perfect time. And I love how it's still relevant. I love and I hate how it's still relevant because the messages, I think, are very important.
Whew. Incredibly so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. So before I share my thoughts on Hamilton, I want to hit y'all with the Hamilton facts because I knew very little about Hamilton before watching it 5 years ago. And as I just mentioned, it was released on Disney Plus July 3rd, 2020, and it hit theaters this month, September 5th, 2025. As I said before, to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the musical, which I was surprised that it was only 10 years because it's one of those things where, obviously I'm not a big musical guy or anything, but like, I've heard of Cats, I've heard of Rent, I've heard of these things, and Hamilton was kind of obviously in that realm. And I didn't realize it literally just came out in 2015. So that was kind of surprising for me to hear. As Brittany kind of mentioned, or we talked about this off air, it was actually supposed to come out in theaters on October 15th, 2021. But because of COVID, because of the pandemic, they dropped it on Disney Plus early just to kind of give people something to watch and obviously give Disney something to sell to people to get them to watch. That's probably more what it was. This movie was one of the most streamed films of 2020, and it was filmed over 3 separate performances in New York City at the Richard Rodgers Theater in June of 2016. So just a year after it had come
Premiered.
out. Yeah. Runtime 2 hours 40 minutes. The budget is $12.5 million. Box office $17 million. And I want to talk about this separately in a second, but we'll keep rolling. This is basically like Lin-Manuel Miranda's like magnum opus because he wrote the lyrics, he wrote the music, he wrote the book, he co-produced the play. He of course he plays the main character, Alexander Hamilton. He wrote wrote this book, but the musical was based on the 2004 biography of Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow. It was directed by Thomas Kail, and as Marcy mentioned, it features the original Broadway cast Lin-Manuel Miranda, Leslie Odom Jr., Phillipa Soo, Christopher Jackson, Renée Elise Goldsberry, David Diggs, Anthony Ramos, Jasmine Cephas Jones, Okieriete, Onaodowan, and Jonathan Groff. Marcy, throw to you. Kind of like, when do you like what is Hamilton? When I say the word Hamilton, what does that mean to you?
For me, I mean, I'm a history buff, so before, like, I would have been like, oh yeah, the guy on the 20, and like he was our Treasury Secretary. And now it's like, wow, this dude had a whole Broadway musical made about him, and it was a contemporary musical, right? It wasn't something with like classical style music and like old timey. It is contemporary, and it is now, and it's also timeless in a way. And I think it made the story of like not only Hamilton, but the founding of our nation maybe even more accessible or more interesting to younger people, for people who would have been like, that's boring. Like, what can I learn from like this old dude and all of these old dudes back then who were fighting for independence? I think that was like such a strange concept to us, because we've always lived in a country where you didn't have to do that. So now to me, it's just a cultural movement, and it's just something that I love. I love putting it on and just falling asleep and just knowing that it's playing in the background. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and Brittany, you obviously kind of forced me to. You basically encouraged me to watch it 5 years ago.
No, I forced you.
And, yeah,
you had it right.
And I gave it a chance. I liked it. I liked it a lot. But what was it about Hamilton that you thought that I would like, or what is it about Hamilton that you like so much?
It wasn't so much. Maybe there's a little bit of, I want you to like the things that I like, because I feel like our personalities are very similar in that respect. You want me to watch things that you enjoy, and vice versa. It just is what it is, right? Kind of like Game of Thrones. You kept telling me for years, watch Game of Thrones. And then season 5 ended and you're like, I can't recommend this show anymore. So
True story.
Yeah. True story. But with Hamilton, the very fact that it took such a different approach on performance, the cast alone, it was very controversial to cast pretty much like all minorities, right? And you have Alexander Hamilton, who was an immigrant. Yes, he is from the Caribbean. He was born to a Scotsman. To have him played by a Puerto Rican American, and have Aaron Burr played by an African American, and so on and so on and so on. You have like all these talented individuals who are minorities, and to tell the story of a founding father in that respect was brilliant. Was absolutely brilliant. And a lot of people obviously have, draw issue with that, but a lot of people are also idiots. But anyway, that being said, I loved that mentality. I loved, like what Marcy said, the music is contemporary. It's very now, it's very something that you can listen to and you'll remember, because like the many of us, we learned far more about Alexander Hamilton by watching this Broadway show than I think we ever learned in the history books. I said the same thing about a Swedish heavy metal band that my husband put me onto called Sabaton, and their lyrics are mostly like military history and things of that nature. I've learned more listening to their music than I did in history class, world history, US history, doesn't matter. But with Alexander Hamilton, I didn't appreciate him as an individual when reading the books and or reading about him in textbooks, but just how much he contributed to the founding of this country and establishing the Coast Guard, our financial system, which, you can say what you can say about it now, but just how driven he was. Yeah. And also being an immigrant. Like, he looked like everybody else in theory, but he was also disrespected. He was not received well. And that's something a lot of us can relate to and understand that work ethic of, immigrants. We get the job done. and that like speaks volumes to so many people. I just think it's so unique. And I appreciate the time and effort that Lin-Manuel Miranda put into telling the story, and to tell the story through song and it having a lasting impression on you. I listened to this album like on my drive in and out of work, because it's so memorable, it's so captivating. The first song alone, it just draws you in. I mean, the lyrics of "How does a bastard, orphan, son of a whore, and a Scotsman, dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot in the Caribbean by Providence, impoverished and squalor, grow up to be a hero and a scholar." That's fucking poetry right there, y'all. Like, that is just incredible. That's what got me hooked. And
yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where after I saw Hamilton the first time, I was like, okay, I get why people like this. I get why this is a thing, because that happens every once in a while, where it's like I've heard of something for a long time and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't seem like it's for me. And then I see it and I'm like, okay, I understand why this has become something of a cultural phenomenon, or is a big hit. But yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda, like this. I mean, how hard was that? What he did for that? Like, I can't imagine like telling a story in song and dance, and like you're rapping and you're doing all kinds of stuff. It's just crazy that there are people that are this talented that can do that. I mean,
yes,
writing is so difficult, with or without ChatGPT, but especially without, definitely pulled it off. But I think the most memorable thing about this production, no surprise, is the music's really good. Like, it's really good stuff. And so let's talk about that. Let's talk about the musical numbers. Marcy, what's your favorite, or what's your top 5? Or I mean, I have one that's like my number one, but I mean the rest of them are all so good. So just start us off. What's one of your favorites?
Burn. I love that one. Phillipa Soo does an amazing job with it. I identify with that song. I'll just say that much. So that really like resonated with me, and that's definitely one of the songs where I'm bawling when I hear it. Who Tells Your Story at the end? Again, I always cry when they're like, the orphanage. Like, I'm like, yes, it's crying. Orphanage. 10 Dual Commandments, because it comes from Biggie, right? Like, I love how he draws not only from hip hop and rap, but also from like other musicals and other types of music. The Reynolds pamphlet. Yes, love it.
Yes, girl.
Now, Say No to This. That one is so good, because you can definitely, like, you are also saying like, no, don't do it. Do not do it. Say no. And of course he doesn't say no, because he's a man, or just a person, right? Like, but no, I love pretty much all of the songs. I think even those where maybe like the first time I listened, I was just kind of like, okay, like lukewarm about it. After I'd listened so many times to the album, like they all grew on me. But I think those are like my top memorable ones. And then the cabinet battles, and then especially the ones that are not on the part of the show, that are on the mixtape. Cabinet Battle 3 is amazing, because it goes into what some people who criticize the show say, like, okay, like, are we kind of whitewashing this? Like, these were also men who had slaves, who bought and owned human beings. Like, we need more of like condemnation of that in the musical, which that's incredibly fair. But Cabinet Battle 3, again, which is not part of the show, he goes into talking, like, they're talking about like, we need to, get rid of slavery. And they're kind of talking amongst themselves like, yes, this is what we need to do, but we can't get it done because there is no support for this. And again, Hamilton's like, well, we've got to figure it out. If we don't get this done, then like, what are our descendants going to think when we had this chance and we didn't take it? So no, pretty much love the whole thing.
Yeah, I know it's kind of tough to choose a favorite. Brittany, what about you? What's your kind of your favorite parts of the favorite musical numbers, or what's one that really stands out when you think about Hamilton?
Marcy actually named a lot of the ones I really enjoyed as well. Reynolds' Pamphlet was like right up there because I will never forget the first time I watched the movie or show, whatever you want to call it, Disney Plus. And it transitioned out of Eye of the Hurricane into the Reynolds Pamphlet. And I'm like, what a shift, first and foremost. And then just the beat of the whole thing, the storytelling, just it was incredible. But I will say, for me personally, a lot of my favorite songs come from Act 1. I think they're just such bangers of songs, and there are plenty, of course, in Act 2, but my favorites are really going to come from Act 1. So I'll start with backwards. I'll start backwards. So You'll Be Back, because you have to love King George. I know I have a pop of King George. I'm actually looking up at it right now. I should have brought it down, but I have a Funko Pop of King George because I thought Jonathan Groff's performance as King George was incredible. The accent, the emphasis, just how much he put into the role himself. It was incredible. I actually thought he was originally British because that's how good the accent was, but hey, he's not British at all. So You'll Be Back. La da 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 da. Just so cute, so funny. The little shoulder movement was fantastic, of course. History Has Its Eyes on You, when George Washington sings it, is such a wonderful song. I love the tempo of it. And I'm going to speak a lot on like just music in general because I sang for a really long time. And it's such like an important moment when they're dealing with, like, I think it's like on the heels of Yorktown, the Battle of Yorktown, right? And just every decision that they make is going to impact the future of their country. So therefore, putting the emphasis of history has its eyes on you is just it's so compelling, right? Because that's, again, something that speaks volumes, not just to the founding fathers, but to every one of us here on earth for however much borrowed time we're given. You can also make an impact. So History Has Its Eyes on You is a good one. Next up is Dear Theodosia. I love the harmony between Leslie Odom Jr. and Lin-Manuel Miranda because at the time they're both like becoming fathers, and just how much they want to do everything they can to raise their children in a country that's young as well, right? And it's just such a beautiful melody between the two men, and it's like they're different, but they ultimately have like the same goal. But obviously that's very divided in the end. Number 2 for me is going to be Satisfied, because Renée Elise, my goodness, that girl worked her ass off to be able to rap that bit. And that's hard to do. That's hard to do. I have a very difficult time trying to attempt to do that. So kudos to her. I know there's a documentary that has recently been announced about Renée during her time on Hamilton, and it's literally called Satisfied. So I'm actually very interested in checking that out. And the number 1 for me is Wait For It. Leslie Odom Jr., my goodness, like what a powerful song. Because again, that's something that I can relate to in the sense of whatever Aaron Burr might have been experiencing. There were so many expectations of him, and then here's like nobody coming from the bottom up who has nothing to lose, so he's risking everything, whereas Aaron Burr had everything to lose. So it's such a great song. It's so powerful. I love it. Honorable mention, Guns and Ships, because we got the Marquis de Lafayette, who's got his little rap section. So fast, so cool. Can't believe David Diggs did that in the accent, because the French accent is very difficult to do, and to be able to rap and sing, incredible. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, all the songs y'all mentioned, I like every song on this, but my favorite by far is "You'll Be Back" by King George. I love
You'll be back soon, you'll see.
Yeah, he's just like the comedic element in this, and I mean, there's lots of other funny parts, and there's funny lines throughout the whole show, but like, he comes in like 3 times and kind of, as the story progresses, he kind of updates the song, and I just think I think it's awesome. I think it's so well
so
done.
good.
I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, I went to YouTube. I listened to it like on a loop for like 2 days. Like I really did. I was like, this song is amazing. How have I never heard this song? This song is amazing.
So
And now
great.
it's so cool because all these people, this cast, they're all on TV and movies. Like, I've seen them, I know Anthony Ramos from other things, not so much this, like it's
Yeah.
so it's kind of cool to see how these people have kind of blown up with this Broadway production, how big it became. And I think the next thing I want to mention is, like we said, it's in theaters. I'm not sure if it's still in theaters right now. It came out early this month. It's probably not in too many theaters right now, honestly. But Marcy, you did see it in theaters, correct?
I did. I went this weekend.
How was that experience seeing it in theaters as opposed to just like watching it on Disney Plus?
It was great. I was like a little hesitant because I was like, well, I've seen it on stage like 3 times. I've seen it on Disney Plus countless times. How is it going to be any different? And I think it was just seeing it on the huge screen was just great. And I was like one of the only 2 or 3 people in the theater because it was just kind of like a midday show. I think the theatrical run's about to end because I couldn't find something showing around me. I had to go like to downtown Dallas. But it was just great. Like there was hardly anybody there. I got to sit in like the very back row, straight in the middle. So it was just great to be able to see it on just like the huge screen and just kind of relive it again. And you always, like I at least always take something every time I watch it. And this time I was just, again, just thinking of how important the message is and how we like everything that they fought for, we can't take for granted and we have to keep on fighting for a more perfect union. Like it's never going to be exactly perfect. You always fight to make it better. So that's kind of what I took from it this last time.
Yeah.
I have a question for you because you've seen it in the theaters. I have not had the opportunity to go watch it in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Are you singing along with the songs?
Not loudly, even though I was mostly by myself. I was quietly, but I wasn't like yelling it. But like definitely quietly, I was singing along, and I was like, oh, it's great because when I first saw it and listened to the soundtrack, I could like hardly like sing along with it, and now like I've listened to it and watched it so many times that I can. So I was proud of myself for being able to keep up and just kind of enjoy it that way.
Listen, if I'm in a theater by myself watching Hamilton, I am making it a sing along. I don't care who walks in afterwards. This is what you're going to encounter.
I'm sure they had them, or they like that was probably a plan to have some of those.
And
like,
they encouraged it too. I like they had a little snippet of it was maybe like a 5-minute like mini documentary before the actual like movie started, and it was just the cast talking about like what it meant and everything. So they were like, yeah, like sing along. So I think if would have been a full theater, like it would have been fun to like do a sing along. But no. Also, like I was really tired. I'd taken an allergy pill, so I was kind of sleepy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I was kind of sleepy, and I probably dozed off maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, but it's fine because I've seen it. So,
well, I haven't seen it. I have not seen it in theaters, but I have seen it on the stage, and it was years after having watched the Disney Plus movie as well. And I gotta say, like, I'm always going to compare the touring cast with the original cast because that's the expectation, obviously, which is not really a fair expectation, but it's one nonetheless. I enjoyed it overall. I think who they cast to be the Marquis de Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson was amazing. Like, I don't know, I'm not good with like Broadway cast people, but he was incredible. I was not particularly blown away by Alexander Hamilton, sadly, but the rest of the ensemble and cast were wonderful. I mean, they kept the energy up. I think I cried after the opening number because I was just so happy and so excited to finally get to see it on the stage. And, since its popularity, tickets have ticket prices have really skyrocketed, obviously. So I'm just grateful that I've had the opportunity to see it on the stage. I don't think I'll be able to see it again just because, money. But if I ever had the opportunity, because I know Leslie Odom Jr. is reprising his role as Aaron Burr in New York for a few months. If I had the money to go buy the ticket alone, which is like over $1,000, I would totally do it in a heartbeat. I would be on a plane to go watch him because I think he is just the most phenomenal Aaron Burr, period.
He was amazing in the show. A lot of people do say that they are unimpressed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, which like I get because he's not like a singer, but I knew him from other things before that. So I was like excited to see him in this. So I think it just maybe like depends on like if people knew him before, because then you're like so excited for like the come up. You're like, wow, like you used to be on the Electric Company on PBS singing like Silent He is a Ninja, right? Like he was like rapping about vowels and how they are silent and to teach it to kids. And now he's on Broadway, and obviously he done In the Heights before that as well, which I hadn't really known about until after Hamilton. But no, like that's fair. Like a lot of people were like, oh, I'm not as impressed, or like he wrote it, so obviously he made himself the main character. But I mean, if you spent all your time doing that, like I would also make myself the main character if I spent all that time. So
absolutely. Yeah. And I don't think I knew him up until Hamilton. And of course, I've seen him in a plethora of things since, when he was in Mary Poppins Returns. He wrote the songs for Encanto, which is like one of my favorite Disney movies of all time now. I loved it so much because the music was incredible. I watched it twice in one day, like back to back. And I never do that, especially with like Disney things anymore. I haven't done that since I was a child, and I used to watch The Jungle Book 8 times a day. No regrets, but I actually can't watch it anymore because I hate it. But anyway, yeah, Lin-Manuel, like, just he gifted us so much with this musical. I'm so grateful for it. Yeah, like, but again, circling back to the movie theater, if I was in it by myself or even with my husband, I don't care. I'm going to be singing every damn song top of my lungs. Yeah. You heard it.
Good transition, because I wanted to go back to the movie theater. I did not see it in the theater either. And I do wonder how well this would have done had it never come on Disney Plus. Because as I mentioned in the open, when I ran down the facts, I mentioned that, 17 million is how much it's grossed in the theaters since, early September. I mean, that's not nothing, but it's not like, I'm sure that's not what they expect. Now, granted, I'm sure their expectations changed after the fact that it's been available for streaming for 5 years. Yeah. You're not going to, get a ton of people probably to come see it. But I do wonder, like, what would have happened had it come out, given the demand for the show on Broadway and the traveling shows, given how popular those tickets are. I wonder what this could have been in the theater if that was the way most people would have been able to see it. Like, let's say COVID doesn't happen and the movie does come out in 2021. You wonder how much money does this make, because COVID changed the movie theaters probably forever. Like, I read all these stats, all this stuff, because I'm always really interested in box office for these superhero movies and everything. But it sounds like 25% of the audience from like 2019 didn't come back after COVID. So if COVID didn't happen, we're living in a different kind of world, at least, I mean, in a lot of ways, but certainly for the box office business, it'd be a different world. I mean, I think this could have been like a $300 or $400 million movie, or maybe more. Who knows? Like, I think it would have been very popular.
Oh yeah.
You look at Wicked last year. When Wicked came out, the first movie, it made like 700 and something million, and I mean that's more than every superhero movie made this year. And but, Wicked for Good's going to make more than all the other ones did this year, also. I think so.
But see, I don't think that's really quite a fair assessment, because if you're talking getting the movie Hamilton the way that it was shot, like over a course of 3 days on Broadway, the whole play, it visually it looks different as opposed to the production that is Wicked. That is a movie.
I'm not
Now-
necessarily comparing it to Wicked. I'm just saying, like, I get like a stage performance is not the same thing as a live action.
No.
movie. That's totally
No.
different. I understand that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, even like if Wicked was like filmed like this, I
Mhm.
think it would have done very well. If it,
Yeah.
like if it came
Well, of
out.
course.
Like, I think a lot of people would have gone to the movie theaters to watch a stage performance, just like what they've done with Hamilton. So
Yeah. I mean, and there's like, granted, Hamilton is far newer than that of Wicked or Rent or Cats or things like that. But I mean, people I'm people who go to the movie theaters to see a play adaptation of Macbeth, Hamilton, not Hamilton, sorry, Hamlet. Sorry, I got Hamilton on the mind. Or like La Boheme or something like that. Like I am people who will go and see that because stage performance is just incredibly expensive, right? And then you got to dress up for it and you got to, do all the things. But, I can go in throw it as hell to the movie theaters and it's okay. But I do see your point, Justin. Like, had it not been for COVID, what would the earnings look like for Hamilton? Because it was already getting the attention. It was already building a following. But because of what COVID was and when they dropped it, and they strategically dropped it the day before Independence Day, during a time where we didn't know what was happening in the world, it's like, okay, well, here we go.
yeah, exactly.
And that was probably the best move Disney Plus has made ever. Ever.
And this was not only during COVID, but a few months. We were like heavy in an election cycle, a very contentious election cycle. So I think that also like made more people be like, oh, like, let me pay attention to this. Especially like Act 2, like the message in Act 2, some songs, like parallels between some actual people from 2020 that we're still dealing with. But that's another story.
Yeah. I do think that while, obviously the box office business will be different had it just come out in the theaters, I do think there are people like me who I would have probably never seen it. Like the fact that it was on streaming, the entry point for me was much easier. I could just go, okay, I'll throw this on. If I don't like it, I can stop watching it.
Yep.
Because, I mean, like with this, I haven't seen a trailer for Hamilton, but obviously it's all the stage play. I can't imagine a trailer. If I didn't know what Hamilton was, I don't think a trailer of a stage play would entice me to go see it. I mean, maybe now it would because I know what it is, but like, me of 5 years ago, there's no way I would have gone to see this. So the fact that it was on streaming, you probably reached more people that probably wouldn't have gone to see it. However, there's that point of like, well, yeah, but like, there's a lot of money that was left on the table because it didn't go to theater. So
yeah,
I get that. But from my perspective, this actually worked out well because like I saw something that I probably never would have seen until it went on streaming where I'd give it a chance. So
you're welcome.
Yeah. I wish they did more like filming of stage productions and then show it on the big screen or like stream it, make it more accessible. Like Brittany said, it's expensive to go see a live show. And not only do you have to pay for the tickets for that, if you don't live near a big city where traveling productions come, you have to go out of town to see it. So that gas money, plane tickets, whatever. You also have to dress up for it, or, feel like you have to dress up for it. This makes it more accessible. But I wish they did that. I enjoy this more than I enjoy a film of a musical. So for example, Jersey Boys, I love that stage musical, but the movie was just definitely like, it didn't do it for me as much as a stage play did it. So I wish like film that, show that in the theaters. I'll show up for that more than I'll show up for a movie version of a stage play that for me has been just hit or miss. I'm like, oh, like they just it was too much. Like, you could have just showed me Jersey Boys again and I would have been happy.
And you know what I found to be really unique for Hamilton, because I don't believe I've seen this stage set up for any other Broadway style production, was the rotating floor, right? In the circle where you have the cast members just stand and it's emulating like movement and different things of that nature. And I think the shots, like the aerial shots, the side shots, that's something that yes can be obviously replicated in a live action movie, but you just don't get the same essence, because it's so fascinating to me to see the use of this one space that you're not moving from set to set to set to set. Like you have to keep this one space and you have to make it work.
Yep.
And the use of the ensemble dancers to either kind of be used as props, or like you have that one girl who is like the representation of the bullet that is, going through. So brilliant. Like it's so smart, because how else are you going to visually show a bullet on stage, right? That's moving through the air. So a lot of it was just so brilliantly done. And
that's
it's
Ariana
so
DeBose.
Yeah.
Ariana DeBose
Oscar winner, Ariana DeBose. So.
Yeah.
And let me just say this: I was not blown away by her in Craven. Was not.
Well, Craven, that was a tough watch. That was a tough one.
She was a tough watch too, and I'm just saying.
But
no disrespect.
It does make me, and I hadn't really thought about this. Like, what would a Hamilton live action film be? And I'm sure we'll get one at some point, like 10, 20 years.
But is it a musical?
Well, I mean, like Wicked is. Like Wicked live
Yeah.
action, and there's, but Wicked isn't a music, isn't a like a all the time musical. Like the whole runtime. I do wonder how that would play out, because like watching this play, honestly, like you're right that they do a lot of stagecraft and a lot of cool things with the stage, but like I'm just like following the story. Like it's just like you kind of it kind of becomes like theater of the mind, kind of like radio is in a lot of ways. I mean, although you can't see the person on stage, you're listening to what is happening, because it's not like, because they're limited by what they can do on a stage.
Yep.
You kind of have to fill in the blanks with your head. So I wonder, like, would a live action Hamilton be better than the stage play? What do you think, Marcy?
I do not. I don't think it would be better. First of all, because I think we would still be comparing like original Broadway cast to like this movie cast, and that wouldn't be a fair comparison. I think it would be too much, like you all have said, like just the simplicity of having to do this all on one stage and making the most of like this, however, big the stage is, like make the most of that rather than like having a huge budget to do all kinds of crazy stuff. I think it loses something. So no, like I mean, they can try, but I don't think it would be as good. And then I think it would also be like, okay, like Hamilton's, been on stage for 10 years now, and we have a Disney Plus and we've had it in theaters. I think if they did it, it would have to be a few years. Oh, Ryan Coogler. That was interesting. Now I'm intrigued. I think
Ryan Coogler could do it.
I would be intrigued by that. Yeah.
Is that going to be like the sequel to
Sinners?
The Sinners? Yeah. Is Hamilton?
We go back in time. It's
we go back in time.
Cool.
We find out that Hamilton's a vampire or something. Yeah.
Spoiler.
God.
God.
He came back as a vampire.
Oh, he's the one who turned the twins.
Mm-hmm.
That's the origin story we all need to see.
Yeah.
No, I think for me, I would not be okay with the idea of having a live action Hamilton if they're going to make it like musical, what have you, specifically because it's still so relatively new in comparison to Wicked. Wicked has had a very long run on the stage, right? And it was only recently that they've adapted it on the silver screen.
Yeah.
So for Hamilton to be a live action, I feel like you need to at least have the original cast, or a majority of the original cast, because how do you explain the transitions from what's happening in America and you get the song "You'll Be Back," right? Like how do you make that transition work? Like you're going clear across the pond, right, to King George, and
you show him staring at a map. He's
There
looking
you go.
over. He's got a map on a table. I've already written it. I've already got it. It's
Oh,
already,
Okay,
yeah.
that's why.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah,
So,
I've done
Lin-Manuel
all the
Miranda, hit
I've
up
done-
Justin.
yeah, I've done all the pre-production. We're hoping to go like before cameras in 2027 if we can.
Oh,
I love
lovely.
that.
Yeah.
I love that for you, Justin. I'm so glad that I've helped you turn into a musical guy, because I'm going to kind of spin it with the musical that exists as a movie, The Greatest Showman. It is now going to be adapted to the stage.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm thrilled about. Honestly, I'm honestly very thrilled, because I'm just curious how they're going to make these effects and the set changes and things of that nature. Like I'm just very curious how they're going to do that, and I'm sure they're going to do it very well, because I believe Disney is backing it up. And when you work for the mouse will shell out top dollar,
Listen,
generally.
the live action versions of the animated left a lot to be desired. So hopefully they've increased their budgets, because that dress in Beauty and the Beast, the yellow gold one,
Yes.
that was not the best. The dresses in Aladdin live action, total crap.
Mm-hmm.
So they
This is
better
true.
increase their budget.
Also the genie crap. Anyway, yes, Amber, thank you for joining us. Love you. Wish you were here joining us and chatting about all things Hamilton. She did make a good point. Moulin Rouge was also a movie before stage production, which incredible. Loved everything about Moulin Rouge. Yeah, I'm a little worrisome, but I'm gonna have faith in things like this. I would be concerned greatly for a live action Hamilton.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but I would be shocked if it doesn't happen. Like, I think it'll happen in our lifetimes at some point. I do think that will happen.
I just think Lin-Manuel just needs to like take a break. He needs to like rest. He always looks so tired because he's always doing everything. Like after Hamilton, he went and did like the In the Heights movie and like Encanto and the songs for Moana, and like just take a break, dude. Like just go upstate. Don't stay home. Do not stay home. Go with your wife. Go upstate.
Just don't run into someone named Mrs. Reynolds. That would be bad. Very bad.
Yeah.
Say no to this.
I mean, Hamilton, he was like, everyone wanted a piece of that guy.
He a hoe. Okay, he a hoe. Just call it what it is. He a hoe.
Cat. That's why. What was it? Martha Washington.
Martha Washington named her feral cat after him. That's true. Can we tell we've listened to the soundtrack way too often? So
I've watched it now 3 times. I watched it 5 years ago. I watched it yesterday, and I watched it today, kind of parts and pieces. I mean, I made the whole thing, but yeah, the music's really good. It's really like we talked about this before, but like, I know the name Alexander Hamilton, but if you polled me like 5 years ago before I saw this, I couldn't tell you much about him, like
Shocking.
really. So, which I think that's part of the point of the play, is the fact that he's kind of the forgotten founding father, or at least the one that we don't know as much about. He never became president. So like, that's obviously a stain on his record, because all those other dudes were president at some point or something. So,
yeah,
but,
Aaron Burr, not VP for very long.
Right.
Not for very long.
Let's talk about just like the historical how accurate it is, or just the fact that, both Hamilton and his son both died in the same way. I mean, Marcy, do you have any insight on, was that actually true, or like?
I mean, yeah, they both got killed in duels.
Yeah, but like racing their gun to the sky instead of like burning and firing. Yeah.
I think like that was accurate. Like the report, like for Philip, I think they said that was like quite accurate. For Hamilton, like it's people like go back and forth. They're like, maybe he did, but maybe he was aiming for Burr. Like, we don't know. Not a lot of people were there, but I need men to like go to therapy and not just duel each other. Like Hamilton could have benefited from therapy. So could Burr. Like they needed to like talk things out instead of writing their little love letters to each other. A.Ham, A.Burr. Like, you need to get over it because now you're dead. You're like vice president, but like nobody likes you because you shot a dude and you killed him. Is he the first vice president to shoot somebody?
he wasn't the last. If he was
the last, that's right. Dick Cheney was probably the last one that's done that.
Oh my god,
that we know of. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
that
we know
I
of.
had briefly forgotten about that.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely sad endings. And I wonder if he wouldn't have died so young in his 40s, would they have changed the rule and let somebody who was not born in the US become president? Or would he have been able to get them to be like, okay, maybe like you don't have to be born here, just become naturalized and you can be president? How would that have changed the course of our country if people who were not born here could also become president if they'd been naturalized for a certain amount of years? So that would have been interesting.
That would have been. We would have President Schwarzenegger by now, I'm sure.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean,
2000, he could have probably gotten elected if
he would have gotten elected. Let's just be freaking real about that. No. What was the original question? Sorry.
How accurate was it historically? Is that
how accurate was it?
Yeah.
So Marcy spoke on Philip and Alexander. I think the alluded relationship type thing between himself and Angelica Schuyler is kind of muddled. There are some reports that suggest, yes, she saw him first, she was interested, and it was just something that just never happened. But they felt a certain type of way towards each other. That's why there's like that lyric where she speaks on, one of your letters, you said, my dearest, comma, Angelica, did that mean something more than just my dearest Angelica?
He's just like, it's a typo. It's just a typo.
Oh, you would know. You're the typo king. So
right.
Yeah. I'll remember that next time.
He's like,
but I mean, like 250 years ago, like girls, we were still like parsing over like whatever stupid shit some man decides to text us. Like, oh, did he really mean like, no, he's just stupid. Like,
also, how many people after meeting someone in 2 weeks' time, they get married and, go off and live life? I mean, I know the life expectancy was very, very low in that time, but my goodness, people
just had it going on.
Just, wow.
I just think it's crazy how these dudes like battle like through letters back and forth. And then like when they're face to face, instead of like a fist fight, they go right to a gun duel. It's like,
right.
Let's just punch each other first. Like we're escalating this way too fast, like just because you're good with a pen doesn't mean you're good with a gun, like, come on.
Your obedient servant, A.M.
And like there are stupid reasons too, not just in the show, but like historically, like you read like, and then they dueled, and I'm like, that was a really stupid reason because like you called me, like you called me something, and now like you've called out my character, like that. What are we doing here?
It's so old school. It's just so, bring out the glove, slap him across the face. I challenge you to a duel.
Or, let your seconds like de-escalate. Like that's what they're supposed to be there for, to be like, okay, like maybe like let's not duel. Like it's not that big a deal. Like just move on. But I think Burr just felt some type of way because his life didn't turn out the way he wanted. But he was vice president. Like,
yeah.
You came in second.
But he wanted to be in the room where it happened.
He could have tried like the next year, like the next presidential election.
He might have died. I mean, his life expectancy, again, very short. I'll tell you one thing though, because of this musical, I learned the name Weehawken, New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
Right. And when I heard it in Gen V recently, I giggled my butt off.
Wow, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Like I heard them say, because I just watched this recently.
Like Weehawken.
I'm caught up on Gen V, and I'm like, why have I heard that recently? And I didn't realize that's what it was. I was like,
it's because of this musical, and again,
no, but also because of Gen V. Like I didn't it was just like that word is floating around in my head, and I was like, I know I've heard that.
It's such a
before.
cool word to say. Weehawken. Weehawken.
I mean, it's not the best though. Like
wow.
Like if I lived there, it's a change it. We gotta work. Like if we're changing all kinds of other stuff, like we can change that too.
That is rude as hell right there.
I don't love it. I don't love it.
Wow.
You know, we're talking about historical facts. I don't know about much of this, but I know one thing was a historical fact. The fact that Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton had a battle rap off. Like they went, that actually happened. We don't have video of it, but it did happen. No, but in the play, that's probably my favorite part. They do that twice.
Yeah.
That's so well done. Like it's so like on paper, it probably sounds silly as hell, but then you see them do this and you're just like, wow, this is incredible.
I mean, the whole thing on paper, the whole idea.
Yeah, the whole idea is crazy.
Introduced it, like, I think in 2009, I think, at the White House, and everyone's like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever.
And yeah, because they performed for Obama.
Exactly. And like they thought it was a joke. I'm sure and everybody has said like, yeah, like he said he's working on some kind of musical about Alexander Hamilton. Like, okay, sure, like that's gonna flop. Let's try it. So like the whole thing on paper just doesn't work, and they made it work.
I think what he performed a cappella was My Shot, which took him like over a year to write and get the music down and just get the whole message across, because that is a mouthful of a song for Lin-Manuel to pretty much be the only one singing, or rapping the entire time. Like throughout this whole musical, obviously it's called Hamilton. He is performing the majority of the time, with the exception of maybe like Burn, Wait for It, the things, the songs from The King, right? Very brief. But that one song alone, like I knew he had to get that right, because that was pretty much gonna set the tone for everything else within the musical.
You know, Marcy, you bringing up the fact that he went to the Obama White House and performed that song. That's why I thought this was older.
Yeah.
That's why I was surprised when it was like, oh, we're celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Hamilton. I was like, hasn't it been around for a long time? Like, I thought it'd been around for 20 years, or I had no clue, but I didn't know it was only 10 years. That's very surprising that it's relatively new, right? I mean, how many, what's like the hot new Broadway musical? I have no clue. Do y'all have any idea? Like what's the,
Oh, I'm sure Amber here in the chat would say it's Odyssey, because she is all about Odyssey.
This is not the Christopher Nolan thing, right? This is not
the Christopher Nolan thing.
Okay.
Now, in fairness, I don't believe Odyssey is actually on this stage, but it is like a musical that, and Amber, please feel free to correct me because I know you will. But this is like a musical that she is very much in love with and just is obsessed with. But to say what is like the new current Broadway that is just killing it. You're right, Amber. It's called Epic, the musical. It's based on the Odyssey. That's what it was. I don't know what like actually is popular. Let's go here into the live chat. Amber and Yesenia are leaving comments. Hades Town is always popular. Okay. Death Becomes Her is also extremely popular currently. Oh my God, I love the movie. Death Becomes Her. And I do remember hearing that it was going to be on the stage. Yeah. I need to see it.
The Odyssey. I'm wondering how they're going to do some of the parts of that. On the stage. That's the one where she is having sex with Poseidon, right? Like that's the story, or is that the Iliad? When I'm interested.
I don't know, but the setup is a battle rap. That's how they get
a battle rap. Oh, Amber says no, Marcy. No. Yes, you can talk to Amber all things Greek mythology. She knows it all.
I'm just having flashbacks of one of the NBC productions of one of the Greek tragedies. I'm like, that's interesting.
That's most likely inaccurate.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
So, anything else about Hamilton y'all want to touch on that we haven't mentioned?
I just
Cast.
want to give. Oh, sorry.
Love the cast. Yeah.
What I was gonna say also about the cast. There is one actor that I'm aware of that has been there from the jump, and I think his name is Thane Jasperson.
Yeah.
Yes, he has been with Hamilton, I think, the longest. If it's been 10 years exactly or whatnot, I'm not sure. But he plays Samuel Seabury. He has like a little solo. And he kind of not rap battles with Hamilton, but that's him. Shout out to him for sticking with it, because I can't imagine. Oh yes, I can. I've been at my job for 14 years. I can't imagine working and doing the same exact performance every single season for 10 years and not be tired of it. Because I've followed performers, in various things. Like there was one person from Riverdance when he replaced what's his name, Michael
Flatley.
Thank you.
There you go.
The guy that took the lead of Riverdance after that, he said he did countless performances, and he said every time that he got on the stage, like a part of him just died because he's doing the same thing over again. So shout out to Thane Jasperson for sticking with the original Hamilton production show and just killing it every single time. And I saw just how much enjoyment he had when Leslie Odom Jr. took the stage again as Aaron Burr. I mean, it was just, I'm sure it's like welcoming an old friend. Hopefully it doesn't end the way that it did for Hamilton and Aaron Burr. Anyway.
Interesting.
So my question is, are we getting a Hamilton 2 or what? Are we getting a sequel?
Hamilton from the grave.
The ghost.
Yeah.
Back from the grave.
Aaron Burr.
Can we get like a multiversal story or something?
He's going to be featured on the next season of Marvel Zombies.
Which is our next podcast, which is tomorrow.
Yes. You like how I did that?
Yeah.
You like how I did that segue?
Yeah. And Brittany, have you watched Marvel Zombies yet?
Let's not talk about that right now. But I will be prepared for tomorrow's.
We will talk about it tomorrow, though, for sure.
Yes, for sure. Yes. Amber in the chat, she goes, "We are built differently, my friend. I listen to certain musicals every single day for 15 plus years." Wow.
Well, I can say that Hamilton's my first musical that I've ever seen. I can remember. Yeah.
I'm gonna pop your cherry on other ones. It's gonna happen.
I always talk about this to people. Like, do you consider those Disney animated movies? Those are kind of musicals, right? Like Little Mermaid and Lion King. And
No.
So, okay, is the Wicked movie? Is that a musical?
That is a musical.
How are they? How's it different than like Little Mermaid and?
Because it's an animated movie.
No, I know, but like they're singing songs like through.
No, I get what, like, yeah.
Same kind of format, right? I mean, obviously, it's just not. It's live action compared to animated, but it's.
Well, now you have to go see in person. So whatever is coming next to Houston, go to that. If it's good. If it sucks, don't go to that.
I drive to the theater district every day. Yeah.
You will learn, sweet child.
She's my like, route.
Go ahead.
My commute to work, I roll right through the theater district every single day. So
you got to do it. Brittany, take him.
Okay.
Make it.
I don't know
out of it.
I don't know what I'm agreeing to, but okay.
Yeah.
Take Justin to a live musical.
A live musical.
I'll tell you what. If Wicked comes to Houston, I probably would have to go. Like I'm so invested now.
That could be for both of our birthdays since we're so close together. Like that could be each other's birthday gift.
Yeah. No spoilers in the chat for Wicked for Good because I don't know how it ends. And I don't want to know until I see it.
Well, Justin, I'm going to throw this little thing at you because you're talking about Disney movies and being a musical. I will say that Beauty and the Beast is making its way to the Hobby Center in January.
I'm going on Christmas Eve here in Dallas. I'm so excited.
Yay! I have seen it already. I saw it for my birthday years ago. Phenomenal production. Phenomenal. Like so good. Justin, we're gonna
I mean,
yes.
it's a tale
Nope.
as old as time. So
Exactly. And
I've
it's
never-
so well done.
I've never even seen the live action movie.
Yeah, that's okay. You don't need to.
Yeah.
As someone who has seen it, I want to like it, but I don't care that Emma Watson is Belle because I don't think she can sing.
Yeah.
Whew. That was
So
rough.
the live action movie of Beauty and the Beast, is that a musical or not?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I would consider.
Yeah.
So the animated one is too, right?
I think a lot of
No.
people, when they think musical, they're like, "Oh, has it been a stage musical?" Then, like, if
Right.
it's a movie, like they call it musical. I would call the Beauty and the Beast one
Gotcha.
a musical.
It's
But see-
now a musical because it's been on the stage. I mean,
But see, after
and
watching
there's a
this,
book.
after I
Right.
watched Hamilton in 2020, in 2021 I watched a musical on Netflix, live action musical. It was Andrew Garfield. Tick Tick Boom is what it was called.
Boom.
Ah, yes.
It's about he
Rent.
plays the guy who wrote Rent or who created
Mhm.
Rent, right? But I mean that's a movie. It's a live action movie, but there's definitely a lot of musical aspects to it. So
Damn,
anyway,
Houston has a lot of good shows coming to soon, so check that out. We've got The Outsiders, Beauty and the Beast, Hades Town, Six, which I've heard is also great.
Yes, I've seen Six. It is amazing. I
Back
love.
to the musical, Spam-A-Lot, man. Oh, the Simon and Garfunkel story. That one was good. I saw it here in Dallas. If you like Simon and Garfunkel and old people boomer music, I definitely recommend that.
I mean, if Steve Rogers the musical comes, I'll definitely be there for that. Oh, it's called Rogers the Musical. I forgot what it's even called. Yeah.
Yeah, goofball.
That's actually available on YouTube if you want to watch it.
That's funny.
It was
Like
in
Captain
Hawkeye.
America?
Yeah, it's
like Captain America.
it's kind of a parody. They did it aired it was filmed like when they filmed Hawkeye, and it's pretty good though. I mean, it's silly,
Mhm.
but I like it. I'm a fan. Anything else before we get out of here?
Oh,
Marcy.
Hades Town is coming to Houston. Sorry, I'm just like looking at the schedule for the Hobby Center. Great Gatsby. What? They made that into a musical?
They make everything into a musical.
That's crazy.
R.I.P.
But-
Robert Redford.
Oh, I know, right? But Marcy, go see Six. You're gonna love it. Absolutely love it.
Well, it's not
So
coming
good.
here. I think it'll be in Houston. I don't think
Come to Houston. Let's go. I'll be in Dallas next month, so you know. Let's make it happen. Anyway, as for Hamilton, I encourage everyone to give it a shot. Do not throw away
your
your
shot.
shot.
Go see it in the theaters if you haven't, because I noticed lots of little things that it's harder to see on your TV, even if you've got a big TV. Seeing it on the huge screen, like tiny little things that you're like, oh, I didn't know that person was on stage at that point, because they're really tiny. So I definitely recommend it if you love it. Like, you'll see lots of little things that you're like, oh, wow, okay, I missed that completely when it was on my TV.
Yeah, we are pro theater, both the musical theater. We're pro, obviously, the movie theater. Go see some stuff, because right now is the downtime for the movie. There's nothing really big coming out for a little while, so if there's something out there you want to watch, you're probably going to be able to watch it with just some of your close personal friends. That's all, because there's not a ton of big movies out right now. So check it out. I did try to go see this in the theater, but there's not one. There wasn't a Showtime near me, so wasn't able to do that. But
Boo.
I did see Spider-Man 2.1 though last weekend, which pretty cool. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 with some extra footage.
Oh, interesting.
It'll be in theaters again this week. I think it's theaters all week. It's the Sam Raimi trilogy with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2.1, and Spider-Man 3. So those are all three back in the theaters for like a 2-week run. So check them out if you get a chance.
Interesting.
I will not be doing that, but thank you. Only because I saw those with something that I now hate. So like, those movies make me think of
Yeah.
I mean,
Guilty
Spider-Man
by
3
association.
is Spider-Man 3 a musical? Maybe it is.
Oh, because he's doing the.
Yeah,
Don't they already have the Spider-Man musical?
they did. It was called Spider-Man Turn Out the Dark or Turn Out the Darkness or something. Yeah, it's a pretty legendary show because I think someone died during the show. I'm not kidding. One of the performers was very badly injured.
What?
It was a very expensive production in New York City. It was produced by two of the guys from U2. I think it was like Bono and The Edge. Yeah. Look it up.
No way.
There's a documentary on YouTube about it. I think it's Spider-Man Into the Darkness or Turn Off the Darkness or something.
That is crazy.
And they parodied it on an Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt on Netflix. They had a parody song about it. It was called Too Many Spider-Men.
Oh no.
Yeah. I think at the time it was the most expensive musical ever produced. And it went out of production, or it went out of business because it was so expensive. It only lasted for maybe a year. I'm not even sure how long it lasted, but go check that out. Maybe one day we should watch the documentary and then talk about it on Spider-Man Day next year. On Spider-Man Day, but next year, Turn Off the Dark. There you go. Thank you, Yesenia. Appreciate it. Next year is Spider-Man Day, which is August 1st. That's the day after Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out. So we'll be probably talking about that instead of Turn Off the Dark. But we'll see what happens. Speaking of Marvel, Brittany, what's coming up for us?
Tomorrow, as we've already mentioned, we'll be covering the series review of Marvel Zombies. It's only 4 episodes, 30 minutes apiece. So if you haven't done so already, like me, take time out of tomorrow to go watch it, and then join us tomorrow for our live chat right here on YouTube at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And if you aren't able to check us out on the live chat, that's okay. Still watch the replay. Leave your comments in the description box or in the comment box down below. And we would love to hear your thoughts on Marvel Zombies, because I'm very curious how this picks up from that one episode in What If. So, yeah.
I've seen the show, and I'm very curious as well because I don't remember. So I will have to refresh my memory for tomorrow's pod. By the way, tomorrow is October 1st, which is the beginning of spooky season. I think it is. Of course, we'll have to talk to Amber about that. She's the Halloween queen. And speaking of that, we will be doing some Halloween stuff for Amber and with Amber.
Yes.
We're going to be reviewing The Haunting of Hill House, the Netflix show. So,
yes.
We're going to do it in 2 chunks. We're going to do 5 episodes here, 5 episodes there. We'll have that coming up in October. So, lots of stuff on the way. And I think Marcy, like Landman, comes back pretty soon, right?
November. So
November.
Frank and I will be doing bi-weekly podcasts of that. So Sam Elliott, we're excited to see him on Landman. We're hoping for no more Jerry Jones cameos on the season. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Not likely.
Yep. Also in October, we'll be wrapping up Peacemaker season 2. I'll probably be doing that by myself. I don't think anybody else is watching it, but they should be. Everyone should be watching Peacemaker season 2. Yeah. Also, Gen V season 2, we'll wrap that up. We'll talk about that later this month or later in October. So lots of stuff coming your way. We got the Watchers football. We're back next week after week 5 of the NFL season. So Frank and Tristan and I will be discussing all the happenings on the gridiron. So we've got a lot of stuff coming up. Be sure you like and subscribe and listen to us on all the platforms. Brittany, how can people find us?
Oh, you already said it, Justin. Just like Justin said, we've got all of our social media links in the description box down below. So be sure to give us a follow on all of those, as well as hitting that subscribe button. We are currently at 468 subscribers. So we have added some numbers. We're very happy about that. Thank you to those who have taken the time to support us. Let's keep that momentum going. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. Let's make that happen before the end of 2025. And don't forget to hit the like button if you've enjoyed our review on Hamilton for its 10-year anniversary. And while you're at it, hit that notification bell. That way you know the next time we go live, which will be tomorrow, if we have not already stressed that enough. And as Justin mentioned, you can also check out our audio podcasts available on Spotify and other audio podcast platforms. All the info is in the description box down below.
Yeah, thanks, Brittany. So, Marcy, before we get out of here, any final thoughts, any final words, anything you want to promote, anything you want to plug?
Anything I
Go
want to
for it.
promote? So nothing, but I personally am doing a Hitchcock movie month for spooky season because I have seen a lot of his movies, but there's still a lot that I haven't seen. So so enjoy spooky season. It's my favorite season, and I love ushering in the season with all kinds of spooky movies that just make me so happy and warm my heart with their spookiness.
Well, we always appreciate when you're able to join us, Marcy. So thanks for being here.
Yep,
So,
for sure.
Yeah. So for Marcy and for Brittany, I'm Justin saying thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will see you next time. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
You'll be back soon. You'll see.
You better be back.
You'll remember you belong to me. Da 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 da.